Hello everyone, I'm Coco. Today, I'm on a business trip in Beijing attending a hospital-related course. Those familiar with me know that I've been building my business from scratch for 14 years. I'm not a privileged princess from a wealthy family. So when it comes to spending, I'm very mindful of how I allocate every single expense. The area where I spend the most is on self-improvement. I've always believed I'm not the smartest person, and I know I'll never earn money beyond my level of awareness. That's why I constantly push myself to keep learning and growing. It's completely normal for me to spend hundreds of thousands on learning every year. While spending that much does hurt, the knowledge I gain truly enriches my mind. I get to connect with outstanding individuals and explore worlds beyond my current understanding. To me, this is the investment with the highest return. I don't have very high demands when it comes to daily life. For example, I don't buy expensive clothes or indulge in luxurious food. I see clothes as consumables, whereas a woman's true outfit is her skin and figure. So I invest more in skincare and fitness. As for food, if it's too delicious, I might worry about gaining weight. That's why during business trips I mostly order takeout. I just need food to sustain my energy. I don't pay much attention to ingredients or taste. When it comes to basic necessities, clothing, food, housing, and transportation, I'm willing to spend more on accommodation. For instance, during business trips, I'll choose a decent hotel in a good location. Since my workload is heavy, I need a comfortable space to rest. Life is just over 30,000 days long. I believe managing our time and money wisely prevents us from wasting them on meaningless things and people. What about you? Where do you spend the most? Leave your thoughts in the comments, let's discuss. I'm 35 years old, single, never married, and childless, but I have a son. Today, I'm laying it all out. He's actually my younger cousin. When I first held him as a newborn, I never imagined our lives would become so deeply intertwined. When he was 2 years old, his parents divorced after endless arguments. When he first came to us, his eyes were full of fear. Later, he went to live with my uncle, but because my uncle's family was struggling financially, my parents decided to adopt him. However, since my parents were already retired and had limited means, in a way, I became the one raising him. I remember when he first came to our home at just over 2 years old. He was quiet, well-behaved, never fussy, and even slept curled up in a ball, clearly lacking a sense of security. Maybe even at that young age, he already understood he was living under someone else's roof. Unlike other kids his age who were lively and outgoing, he spoke very little, avoided eye contact, and made sure to do everything perfectly, always treading carefully. Watching that tiny body curled up in the corner of the bed, I feared that one day we might send him away. But in that moment, I decided I would stay by his side and watch him grow up. I started coming home early every day to tell him stories and lull him to sleep. I often wished he were my own child. I told him, "You're so lovable and everyone would love to be your friend." When he was scared, I reassured him, "This house will always be yours." I celebrated every birthday with him, every Children's Day, and attended his graduation ceremonies. Every important milestone, I was there. Slowly, he transformed into a confident, cheerful chatterbox, always brimming with things to say. Some people ask, what if you spend all this money raising a child who isn't yours, and one day he doesn't even acknowledge you? My answer is, if spending a little money can save someone's life, why wouldn't I do it? As for whether he'll recognize me or not, I don't think it matters. Because I can take responsibility for my own life. What do you think? I'm Coco, nice to meet you. I'm a 36 or 37-year-old leftover woman, and many people ask me, why aren't you married yet at your age? From the age of 20 to 28, I was in South Korea, and after 28, I returned to China. To be honest, before I turned 30, I never really thought about marriage. So when partners I dated before 30 brought up marriage, I ended up breaking up with them. It wasn't until after 30 that I started considering it seriously, but at the time I didn't have a clear understanding of what I wanted, so I missed several opportunities. Isn't that how it goes? Maybe the right fate hasn't come yet, perhaps even now it still hasn't arrived. In 1989 I was 36 years old. Now still unmarried with no partner, no children, and only a little dog as company. Every day is just work and then home to sleep. During holidays, I'm always alone, shopping alone, eating alone, single all this time. On the surface, it might seem carefree, but life is all about decline. The friends around me grow fewer and the loneliness grows deeper. While my parents are still here, at least there's a family to return to. But once they're gone, there won't even be a home anymore, no emotional anchor. If I get sick, there won't be anyone to bring me tea or medicine. And at my current age, everything feels especially awkward. The dating market nowadays is brutally realistic for both men and women. Men my age will undoubtedly choose younger women, because they can have children more easily. And younger men? They mostly prefer women their own age or even younger. So for someone in my age group, finding the right person is truly incredibly difficult. 46 years old, single mom living a semi-retired life in the US with just me and my cat. A couple of days ago, after I posted that video of Bing Bing, my cat, a lot of people asked me, "Hey, when you were at the vacation house, that person standing in your backyard with a shovel, what happened in the end?" At the time I was sitting inside, this is where my dining room and kitchen are, and he was standing right there. Suddenly, I noticed someone outside holding a shovel, Bing Bing, so I quickly went inside to grab my own Bing, you know what I mean, and loaded it. By the time I came back out, the cops, hat uncles, had already arrived. Later, when they came to inspect, they found that there was a homeless person's cart parked there with bedding and stuff inside. But this time when I came back, I checked first and it was already gone. Honestly, I don't really dare to let Jiaozi, my cat, roam free outside. She's never worn a leash since she was little, almost never. This time I bought 2 leashes and took her out to the backyard. Beyond here is just forest, and once you go down there's nothing else. The backyard hasn't had any wild animals, but I have seen lots of deer, Lulu moms with their little Lu babies. Many neighbors have planted flowers and plants, and this tree is really pretty too, saves me the trouble of planting anything myself. They plant and I get to enjoy. They take care of it so I don't have to worry. My neighbor is a very stubborn old man, but he's really kind, a white elderly guy living alone. When I'm not home, he helps take care of things around the house and keeps me updated. Honestly, renting out the whole place at once is much easier. See, this house was originally rented out as a whole, and I barely had to manage anything. If something broke, I just call someone to fix it. No need to show the place to potential renters today and tomorrow. Such a hassle. Ah. To be honest, single women of a certain age are truly living miserable lives. Because they're unmarried and childless, they don't have to deal with mother-in-law conflicts, disagreements over parenting, or the daily grind of shuttling kids to tutoring classes. They don't have to lose their tempers helping with homework or sneakily press their husband's phone with his finger while he's asleep to uncover hidden secrets. Every day is just aimless, like a monkey staring at the moon, and the money they earn can only be spent on themselves. They travel a few times a year, spending their days working, reading, and watching movies. Eating good food, having fun, playing games, scrolling through TikTok. Life is so dull, they have to rely on others' pity just to get by. A single woman is being lured into the trap of capitalist brainwashing. What does single woman even mean? There are only 690 million women in China, which means 1 out of every 7 people is single. Why single women? Who ultimately benefits from this? Praising and spoiling is not only the most efficient form of brainwashing, but also one of capitalism's most common tactics. There's a long-standing consumer hierarchy: women, children, elderly, pets, men. A more precise breakdown would be single women, children, married women, elderly, pets, men. Married women live for their families, burdened by mortgages, car loans, and children's education. They become more rational. They tend to prioritize savings and financial planning. In contrast, single women live for themselves, prioritizing self-gratification, driven more by emotion than reason. This makes them capitalism's prime target. By pandering to single women, capitalists brainwash them, amplifying their desires and greed. Real estate agents say, a woman must own a home, without it, she has no security. Cosmetics companies say, there are no ugly women, only lazy ones. Luxury brands say, luxury goods symbolize a woman's status in life. Then there's the inspirational literature that preaches, enjoy your youth, don't wait until you're old to regret it. Smart girls know how to invest in themselves. Or the ultimate guilt trip, a man who loves you will always spend money on you. Wake up, ladies. These so-called words of wisdom are nothing but spiritual opium manufactured by capitalism, designed to make you emotionally dependent on these ideas so they can profit from you. They deliberately cater to single women's desires to create anxiety. Capitalism sells you an illusion, making you believe that buying something will grant you the lifestyle associated with it. But in reality, it's just misleading you. Most of the time, the life you want is achieved through discipline, hard work, and personal growth, not by mindless consumption. Young women, when faced with capitalism's flattery and manipulation, stay clear-headed. Live wisely. Don't lose yourself in this so-called spoiling, and don't be held hostage by consumerism. True self-love is discipline, clarity, growth, and becoming a stronger, better version of yourself. I'm asking very seriously and earnestly, why are you single men so afraid of or resistant to those high-earning, highly capable goddess types? There's this female friend of mine who runs her own small company, earning around $500K a year. She owns a nice big house and drives a Bentley, but she's genuinely kind, sensible, gracious, and not materialistic at all. She's not pretentious, and she's really not domineering either. She's 160 centimeters tall, with looks that are a solid 7 or 8 out of 10, really quite good. She's also fun and passionate about life. Isn't she the dream wife? Beautiful, emotionally intelligent, not materialistic, and mature. Yes, she's been divorced, but she doesn't have kids. It was a short marriage, and the divorce was very amicable, entirely due to her ex-husband's issues. Plus, she isn't even insisting on marrying someone who's never been married before. She's 32, which isn't that old. Plenty of unmarried women are in their early 30s. She's even open to men around 40. And she's genuinely looking to settle down, have a child, and has fully prepared for that. After marriage, she's willing to dedicate more time and energy to her family. So what exactly is the problem? That she has money? Isn't that a good thing for a family? Besides being financially well off, she has so many other great qualities. What part of this is so unacceptable? I really don't get it. How can such a great woman be overlooked?